Video. Bigfoot photographed in New Hampshire. A couple hiking in New Hampshire snapped a photo of a mysterious creature that some suspect could be a juvenile Sasquatch. The interesting picture featured in the video above was reportedly snapped by a witness who encountered the animal as he and his wife were near a stream on Mount Washington's Amonoosuc Ravine Trail. We thought it was a bear drinking, and I took a photograph, he recalled. When it heard us, it ran away on two legs. The bipedal nature of the beast understandably startled the pair and prompted them to make their own hasty exit from the scene. Let's check it out.
A New Hampshire Bigfoot sighting. Mount Washington Sasquatch encounter.
Oh, good grief, it's Rocky Mountain Sasquatch.
Caught on camera. James writes, "Hi RMSO. I have a photograph of what I think could be a juvenile Sasquatch if you're interested. Me and my wife, while hiking up Mount Washington, we thought it was a bear drinking from the stream, and I took a photograph.
Where's the photograph?
When it heard us, it ran away on two legs. When we saw that, we hauled out of there quick. I've attached the picture. I'm not certain, but it looks like there is something on the shoulder of the Sasquatch too. Possibly a baby? We were in the lower sections of the Amonoosuc Raven Trail."
Okay, wait a minute. If I get this ad out of the way. Does that look like a real picture to you? Looks like an illustration to me. I mean, are they ribbing us with this? But then again, this is Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. We haven't covered anything from them in a while. And we know we know the absolute credibility of Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, don't we? Yeah. And it does not look like there's anything on its shoulder either. This is just more clickbait from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. It's quite dishonest and it's quite disingenuous of them to do this kind of crap.
We were following a stream where there was a concentration of pine and spruce, and that's when we saw the animal, whatever it is. RMSO responds, "Hi James. We enlarged the image by 200% and ran it through several light filters. To me, it appears to have its left arm bent across its body with its left hand on its right knee as it's reaching into the water. Not sure if there's anything on the shoulder. Perhaps a very large shoulder and muscular upper back. Does not look like a normal human shape to me. Thanks for sending this to us along with the backstory. There was a Bigfoot encounter around 60 miles west of Mount Washington along the Vermont border several years ago. We were frozen in awe. The creature looked about 8 feet tall. Sasquatch."
Kelly Shaw is a pineapple. Nuff said. That's all I got to say. Nuff said. Kelly Shaw is a pineapple. And believes, I don't know, I'm not sure if he actually believes that all these photos and videos are actual Sasquatch, or if he's just clickbaiting to try and make others believe that they're Sasquatch. Really doesn't matter either way. It's hoaxing by any definition, if you ask me. Now here's something interesting. South Dakota driver reports Bigfoot sighting. A South Dakota woman driving through the Black Hills spotted a sizable bipedal creature she suspects was a Sasquatch. The intriguing sighting reported to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization occurred last Tuesday evening, June 23rd. That would actually be the 24th, not the 23rd. At around 10 p.m. on some switchbacks outside of Sturgis. According to the witness, as she cruised along the otherwise barren highway, she noticed a large bipedal animal that suddenly appeared on the side of the road moments after the high beams of her vehicle had illuminated that particular spot, but before she reached the location. It came up out of nowhere, she recalled, noting that as she approached the peculiar creature, the bipedal beast easily stepped over a guardrail that normal wildlife in the area, such as deer or elk, would have to hop over to get on the road. Knowing the fortuitous timing of the sighting, she marveled that it entered the roadway right as I was passing, which allowed her to get a brief but remarkably close look at the animal near as her vehicle and the suspected Sasquatch were only about 2 feet away apart. From that vantage point, she was able to observe the creature's shoulders and midsection, which were entirely covered in a dark brown or reddish, that should say hair, not fur. They have hair, not fur. They're not bears. This could be just a bear sighting. Now, she claims it was bipedal, but this could have been just a bear. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of to have sightings in the Black Hills. But I don't know. Now, some individual has pointed out that it's close to Sturgis, and maybe it's what you might call promotion for their upcoming biker rally, which is usually in August in Sturgis, South Dakota. There could be somebody in a suit at 10 o'clock at night, I guess. No, it sounds more. If it was covered with fur, then it sounds more like a bear. It doesn't sound like a Sasquatch. It sounds more like a bear. So it's probably a bear that she saw. She mistook it for a Sasquatch. It's happened before. It'll happen again in the future. This isn't the first time. It's not the last time. Steve Coles and Chris Bennett's most recent, well, one of the most recent Squatch D TV episodes discussed, is the Gigantopithecus a good ancestral match for Bigfoot? And Steve came to some interesting conclusions about the possibility of why Sasquatch, or excuse me, why Gigantopithecus is not a good candidate for Bigfoot's ancestor. All jaw, no body, wrong place, wrong time. Even though Jeff Meldrum says they're in the right place at the right time. It ate like a panda and the orangutan problem. Giganto is from the Pongi lineage, meaning its closest living relative is the orangutan, not gorillas or chimps, and definitely not humans. Orangutans are solitary, arboreal, and knuckle walkers. That's the opposite of the Bigfoot profile. Ground-based, potentially social, and clearly bipedal. We would need a radical evolutionary divergence for a Pongi to turn into a bipedal forest walker. That's not impossible. Without a shred of fossil support is unfortunately wishful thinking, not science. So, Dr. Meldrum was probably wrong about Sasquatch being Gigantopithecus. Although he is open-minded to the possibility of other candidates being Sasquatch. Now, if you want to credit whoever it was that said that the Yeti and Sasquatch were possibly related to Gigantopithecus, that was John Green. John Green said that he believed there was a possibility that Yeti were related to to Gigantopithecus. And then Grover Krantz took the theory and thought, maybe that's the possible candidate. The Gigantopithecus is a possible candidate. But the only problem is, the only thing we found of Gigantopithecus are jawbones and teeth. So, and I've had the thought for several years now that Sasquatch are not related to Gigantopithecus. They could be Paranthropus. And Paranthropus could have grown larger than your average size human. So, who knows? Now, hey, listen, Steve could be wrong. I could be wrong. If Sasquatch is found one day, and it is found to be a relative of Gigantopithecus, I will gladly apologize and say, yeah, I was wrong. But until that day, I'm going to stick to possibly Paranthropus. Finally, here's an interesting article by Christopher L. Murphy called Do Sasquatch Really Exist? Now, this was written a few years ago in conjunction with the upcoming Winter Olympics, which was held in, I think, British Columbia. And they had a stuffed toy of Quachi, one of the 2010 Winter Olympics mascots, greeted visitors to the games. The mascot was also honored as a Canadian postage stamp. The fact that the toy was made in China is highly appropriate, as it is from that ancient land that many believe the Sasquatch originated. Referring to Gigantopithecus, of course. It's a really interesting article, kind of a encapsulated version of Murphy's book, Meet the Sasquatch and Know the Sasquatch Bigfoot. So, I'm not going to read anything from the article, but I'll let you guys take a look at it. I'll put it in the links down below. And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it. And I will continue as long as you guys want me to. And for the last decade I've been doing this, and I've really enjoyed it, and I will continue to do it until the good Lord calls me home, or I just decide to stop, whichever comes first. So until 2 weeks from now, y'all be good or be good at it. It's HBM's Cryptid-Corner.